Good morning. From time to time, we all experience big events that change things, that change everything. We might call them before and after events. They are experiences that we refer to, such as before we had children, or after mom died, before the car accident, or after graduation. When I was a little kid, it was always before and after my parents' divorce. Just today in the gathering space, I heard people talking about after the shooting or before COVID. These before and after moments define the beginning and end of certain eras in our life. They are game changers that make us reevaluate everything we have known up to this point through the lens of this one new big life event. I imagine that Jesus going missing for 3 days was one of these before and after moments for the Holy Family, whose feast day we celebrate today. This was no doubt a terrifying experience for Mary and Joseph, as it would be for any parent. 3 days is an extraordinarily long time to not know where your child is. 10 minutes can seem like 10 hours. It's significant that our tradition holds that Jesus was 12 years old. Rarely do we think of Jesus as a lumbering tween, but as the last sentence of our gospel affirms today, he was fully human. So he grew in wisdom and knowledge just like the rest of us. And 12 years old is a formative year. There is a reason why we celebrate confirmation and bar mitzvahs around this age. It's a significant threshold, a before and after moment, if you will, that heads us in the direction of the adult that we are to become. It's also telling that they found Jesus in the temple. I don't know about you, but church wouldn't be the first place that I went looking for my 12-year-old if she went missing. But there he was, sitting among the rabbis, listening to them, asking questions. And what was even more eye-opening is that everyone was amazed by his understanding. Before this temple experience, his parents may not have fully realized his uniqueness. But after this experience, everyone, including maybe Jesus himself for the first time, was aware that he was indeed coming into his own, having deep realizations about his calling and mission in life. This whole temple experience was a big game changer for the Holy Family, something that Mary pondered in her heart, no doubt, for many, many years to come. The big before and after event that I always ponder in my heart, especially during this time of year, is what my family simply calls the fire. Back in 2010, we had a defective dryer that had an electrical short that sparked a fire in our home. And in the blink of an eye, we found ourselves in a hotel room 2 days before Christmas, dazed and smelling of smoke, without a change of clothes, a toothbrush, or a single wrapped gift for our 3 daughters, who were at the time ages 1, 5, and 8 years old. We left our soot-covered, flooded house in such haste that my Lauren, my oldest daughter, had on only one boot in the snow. Our entire world was flipped upside down, and we were displaced for over 8 months. Like a mighty rushing wind, Our friends from church blew into my family light at this time of crisis and fear and gave us hope. Within 24 hours, we had a fully decorated tree, and our hotel room was bursting with wrapped Christmas presents for the girls to open on Christmas morning. Our extended community did for us what no one person, not even one family, could have ever done for us, what no insurance company could ever provide. Every prayer, every hug was an outpouring of God's love that genuinely healed us. Every card and email, every kind word embodied God for us, embodied love for us, even from people we didn't even know. For me, this experience is not only just before and after the fire, but it's before and after I realized the concrete significance of being church, the true meaning of sacrament. It's like your parent is a doctor, and you know this your whole life, but then one day a real emergency happens and you see your parent do something amazing to save a patient, and you are blown away. You always knew your parent was a great doctor, but you had never seen them in action. I knew in theory that the church, the body of Christ, was the healing, generous, restorative presence of God, but I had never seen it in action, at least not from the receiving end. It was for me a great moment of clarity of the great power we hold and yield and wield. My kids may not know their creed by heart, but they will never, ever forget that experience of church. Jesus' mission was to birth a community of genuine sharing, rooted in the love, lavishness, and mercy of God. The early church did as a collective what no one person or one family could do, and they understood that it was a non-negotiable, an essential aspect of the gospel that everyone have enough food and clothing and medical care, that they would feel safe and cared for, that their basic needs would be met. The early disciples knew that the church wasn't a set of beliefs that you talk at people, but rather a community of believers in the vision that Jesus entrusted to us. Believers in his promise that compassion can change the world, and who know that our togetherness is the greatest remedy for all that fills us with fear. What binds us as church is our shared vision of all that could be, of all that we can be for one another. And it propels us, it missions us, it forms us as disciples. Father Ron Rolheiser writes, "Community is not, first of all, nor necessarily at all, a shared roof, a shared city, a shared task, or even an explicitly shared friendship. It is a shared spirit, a shared way of life." Before the pandemic, we were all under one roof, sharing Mass together like this each week. But during this time of COVID, we've had to adjust. And I think we're all wondering if we're ever going to return to the way things were. But we will always remain community, because family, intimacy, and community are first and foremost constituted by living in the same spirit. Christ's spirit, as our second reading so beautifully spells out, that of compassion and kindness, humility, gentleness, patience, and forgiveness. When we do our best to live within these, we are in deep intimacy with all others who are also striving to live within them, regardless of the separation that distance and time can cause. We know that true community need not be lost when death, distance, or commitments, or even pandemics break us apart. May we let nothing rob us of this beautiful vision and hope. Let's keep showing up for one another, no matter what challenges lie ahead. I suspect that this is Jesus' dream for us. And as the saying goes, a dream you dream alone is just a dream. A dream you dream together is a reality.